Welcome back to a very, very green Mars, my friends. Oh, hey, we got a free rocket. Here I was thinking about, getting ourselves another rocket with 3 billion. I completely forgot about one of our sponsor milestones was 60% water terraforming, and we get a free rocket, which is awesome. Which means I'm going to send said rocket directly to Mars. Do not pass go. Do not collect 200 Martian dollars, and we're going to use that to carry some of our exports back home, because we have a crap ton of them right now. Yeah, so what I'd like to do this episode is, well, end it. We're going to probably get towards the end of our playthrough in this episode. Our atmosphere is going crazy with all of our massive amounts of carbonate processors, although we might get there right about the time we run out of waste rocks. I'm a little bit concerned, although you know what we could do? Hang on. Before I get too concerned here, could I possibly set up a transport network with my RC transport here? If I could say load resource here, I can in fact load and unload waste rock. Okay, that's what we're going to be doing. I'm going to use my RC transporter to have a delivery network. Perfect. Okay, that should help out a little bit. I don't know if that's actually enough to keep that, I guess, level of waste rock needed. How much are you guys using per day? Stored waste rock. I can't actually tell what they're using, but I'm going to order, since we are kind of rolling in the dough, I'm going to order a supply pod with another RC transport on it, and we'll set that RC transport to another location that has a lot of waste rock, maybe down here in the nether regions, and we'll have that delivering waste rock as well. Or I could run it through the tunnel. The tunnel will be a very quick trip from here to there, and then grab all this waste rock in these two locations. But either way, I think we should be able to work out a system that will let us keep all of our waste rock in this vicinity. So we are, I don't know, do we want to do that special project that will give us the flat 5%? We would lose a rocket, but at this point, the rocket was free. So it's kind of easy come, easy go. I think that might not be a bad idea, especially since we're a little bit lower on waste rock. I'm not sure if that transport will bring enough. It might, but it might not. So rather than run out of atmosphere and start to lose atmosphere because we're not able to process more, I think we could go about doing the special planetary mission, which is to melt the polar ice cap. So 5% atmosphere on that. We'll get that here as soon as one of our rockets touches down. Yeah, and then we're going to be, I think, breathable atmosphere. We'll probably throw down the capital city. Can I tell what the capital city requires? Breathable atmosphere is all it tells me right now, but I can't tell how much materials it'll need. I'll probably put the capital city, honestly, between these two areas, because we are kind of out of space at this point. So we'll put the capital city down. I might run the let's play or the save game for a while in one direction, just to let the vegetation improve. I'd love to see what this map looks like completely covered in greenery. Although at 30%, we're supposed to hit a pretty big boost. So I don't know. It's one of those things I wouldn't mind taking a look at, but at the same time, oops, crap. I totally missed my landing pad, and I'm going to kill a bunch of drones. Yep. My bad. Let's go ahead and set that job to unload or load waste rock and unload it over here. Beautiful. We just received a neural empathy technology, which I think creates a new type of trait. The empaths that raise it stacks with other colonists in the same dome. It raises the morale of all the colonists in their dome. So fair enough. Pretty nifty stuff. I don't even know what to research anymore. I might go ahead and just queue up that increase in fusion reactor upgrades, which would let our fusion reactors go a little bit, even have more power to them. Otherwise, I guess we'll just wait. We do have the polar ice cap mission. Let me go ahead and queue up Caldrius 5 for that. Farewell, Caldrius 5. You've been here for like a minute, and we'll be sad to see you go. But kind of not really, because this will get us the 5% of atmosphere that we really need to finish out our playthrough. Meanwhile, the Mohole mine has been really, really great. I've got a ton of metals again, and a ton of concrete with it as well. So very strong endgame wonder for sure. And I don't even know if there's any other wonders that we would be interested in long term. I wonder actually if the better option for my plants, by the way, I was kind of looking at my lack of lichen here, would be to focus on doing 2 runs of lichen and then doing a run of trees, because trees are supposed to give you more. Yeah, the trees give you more seedlings. I think one of the bigger problems is that not all of our new areas have spread lichen around yet. So I was putting down bushes and trees. I think I'll do 2 runs of lichen and then a run of trees. That should help keep the seeds pretty high. We have tons and tons of seeds. Once you're able to unlock bushes, it really started to stack up. Look at all the food we've got stockpiled too. That is absolutely crazy. We've had a ton of food from all of our farms. The dedicated farming domes have really turned out to work in our favor. That was a really good decision. I really do think specializing your domes does seem to be a very strong way to go. Being able to put down like a specialized farming dome, being able to put down a specialized... The only thing we haven't really tried is kind of a specialized workshop dome with nothing but workshops in that general area. So that could be an option to take a look at down the road if you ever want to. But yeah, we are waiting for Caldrius 5 to finish up, and we are going to be pretty much in open atmosphere at that point, and I'm so excited to see what that's going to look like. Welcome back to Surviving Mars. We're at 92% almost for our atmosphere, and that means that we are going to be getting breathable atmosphere very, very soon. I do have a mission queued up for one of our shuttles to sacrifice itself and detonate on the polar caps, although I think, honestly, by the time this fills up with fuel, we might have already reached the 95% mark for open atmosphere, which is going to be very, very cool. Yeah, but like I said before last episode, I think this will be the end of our Martian playthrough in this run of Surviving Mars. All I'm going to do is try to look up the capital city. I'm curious about seeing what materials are required for the capital city, and I'll probably put that down somewhere between our 2 areas of domes here on the plateau, the Science Plateau, and over, I guess it's not even a plateau, it just had a lot of rocky outcroppings around it, but still, the science area, the Curie Trigon, and our main headquarters. But yeah, this has been a really, really fun playthrough. I think in the future, we talked about a little bit about what we'll do differently next time around. One of the big ones for me is going to be probably focusing on getting more medium domes to specialized out quicker. So a little bit more specialization. Oh no, we're a little bit low on fuel. I think I've just got too much for my drones to do. Even with 78 drones, there's still a ton of jobs that need to be done. There's like loading up one of my shuttle hubs, things like that. So lots of stuff going on. Drone heavy load over here. Complete. That's fine. One of the other items. Oh, hey, retirement age and death from old age happen later in the colonist's lifespan. So that means that probably is going to skew our population a bunch. So we're going to have a much longer living population that might actually go crazy and really mess with our population numbers. But that's okay. That is all right. Is everyone moving out of this dome by chance? We're at 163, so we're not overpopulated in our senior retirement dome, which is kind of cool. Looks good. I like how that retirement dome wound up looking. I think in the future I'd like to see a little bit more not wind turbines, but a little bit more of my forestation plants out earlier in my next playthrough, just to have the vegetation at a much higher point in the game. And I probably will run this save for a little bit longer after kind of we're quote-unquote finished, because I'd like to see how this looks with a complete 100% forestation rate. And really, at this point, a lot of this game is just waiting. We're waiting for the atmosphere to fill up, and we are going to get 100% atmosphere. Probably we're going to get 95 with just the carbonate processors, and then we'll get 100 once we have Caldrius 5 pop the cap. That's the polar ice cap. But this has been such a fun playthrough. I'm really looking forward to the DLC for New Laika. That's going to be adding animals, so we're going to have ranches and farms and all sorts of things. We're going to probably, I guess it's going to be an outdoor building, I would assume. Kind of like the fungal farm, I think, is they're going to have an outside building, which will be kind of cool. But yeah, I guess we'll fast forward until 95%, and we'll be ready to see what it's like with a breathable Martian atmosphere. We're here, folks. We are here, 95%. Oh my gosh, don't tease me, game. Don't tease me. Planet habitable. Your attention is required. Since the founder set foot on Mars, we have dreamt of the day we could tread freely upon the red planet. Oh, it's beautiful. We're now able to open our domes and rely on the Martian atmosphere alone to provide oxygen and warmth we need to survive. Cool. Domes will no longer require an oxygen supply and will become cheaper to build. However, if conditions worsen, we will stand ready to seal them up again. We might actually lose atmosphere and go back below 95%, but we are going to open the domes and take a look. Oh, this is so cool. That is so awesome. Oh, look at that. That's so adorable. Hooray, we've got 95% atmosphere. Are we all happy? We should be having fireworks over all of our cities now. That is so cool. That looks gorgeous, too. I like that. I like that they plant trees all along the border of your city, too, or your dome. Very, very cool. Let's take a quick look at our achievements for this playthrough, or my milestones. We actually pretty much got every single milestone, it looks like, by ourselves. So we beat pretty much everyone, all of the other AI creations here, all the other AI colonies. Let's take a look at that capital city. What's that going to require for us to build? Only concrete and metal. That's crazy. It's going to take up a ton of power. But if it's only concrete and metal, we do have that in spades. So let's throw down the the capital city. We'll throw that down over here just to have it down. And of course, I will throw down oh my gosh. Look how many friggin' triangles we've got here. That's crazy. Let's throw down another drone hub right about here. God, it's so big that it's like one drone hub doesn't support the entire thing. Let's put a drone hub. You know what? Actually, let's put one on this side over here. I think this one kind of supports a little bit of the area. They kind of overlap just a tiny bit. I doubt we'll need the entire thing covered, but we'll see. So let's throw some power from you. Lovely. And we'll throw our life support system on as well. This is so cool. Put my pipes down. We'll throw the pipe network up the line here. Perfect. And I'll throw down a universal supply hub in this spot right next to my future drone hub. Cool. Oh, actually, we actually have enough drones, I think, to run everything up there. So we'll put everything but fuel. We'll require about, probably honestly, like 30. We'll max out everything. I'll let this run for a bit. I'm really curious to see how the capital city looks. This is so cool. Look at all the space we've got. Look at the room for activities. I think you can put down multiple capitals, can you? Oh, you can only build it once. Even so, doing a capital city in the center and then surrounding it with mega domes would be a pretty awesome design down the road. If we really planned for this properly, if I knew what to expect, you could pretty much put one down and then put a mega city on every single side of it. Do they walk back and forth between domes now, actually? How do people... Oh, he just walks straight up to the other dome. That's so cool. So they'll just walk to the adjacent domes, which is really neat. So maybe in the future, it wouldn't hurt to plan for like domes right up against each other, so that way people could walk back and forth very, very easily. That's so neat. Look at them just kind of, they're like, oh, they're just gonna walk between my domes here. I'm gonna go to the gym. I love it. I love it. I'm so excited. I'm like a kid at a candy store. All right, I'll let this run for a bit. And what we're gonna do is I'll probably come back once we have 30 of the vegetation. I want to see what the bloom looks like, or the boom, the vegetation boom. We also need to probably come back at 100% atmosphere to see if there's any difference there. And once that happens, we'll be able to kill all of our carbon processor, which frees up a ton of energy. We also no longer need the moxie generators, right? Is it pretty much all of them? Yeah, we don't need any more oxygen generation because we're completely getting all of our air from the atmosphere. So freaking cool. I love it. Awesome, awesome stuff. I'll come back once we finish either doing... we might actually hit 100% atmosphere before Caldrius 5 finishes the mission, which is kind of funny. I was looking at different designs, by the way. This actually seems pretty cool to have the... I think they're the oval domes. We never really mess with them all that much, but I like how the domes can fit together right along the border of the capital city. I think also maybe the Mega Trigon might fit along one edge. It's a little bit overlapping, so it wouldn't quite fit everything perfectly. I was trying to think about ways in the future, in another Let's Play, to kind of surround a capital city, and like the most efficient way to do that. I like the triangle domes here, the mega dome. I guess if we put it far enough away, oh hi puppy, if we put it far enough away, it will have the space for it. But I can't get over how cool this looks. This is really, really neat. I'm super excited about this capital city. So it's going to take a little bit longer to get built. Meanwhile, we're almost at the 100% mark for the atmosphere. It's funny, I think I might even cancel our mega project here. A 10% more water would be nice, but I don't, at a certain point, do we actually even need more water? We probably do. What's the overall terraforming? Sustainable mixed trees at 75%. So 75% is what we're going for, and this would bring us up to 71, so that would be worth it, probably. That would give us sustainable mixed trees, and then the wild vegetation blooms should be happening relatively soon. So a couple more sols will have a wild vegetation bloom, or boom. I also could... Aren't you a mission as well? Yeah, you're another of our ships. We have so much going on. My poor drones are just desperately trying to keep up, I think. Are you guys all idle? Hang on. How are you all idle? There's like 1,000 things to do. Why aren't you getting fuel? Uh-oh, did I screw something up? Are they no longer able to move back and forth? Look at how many drones are just sitting there idle right now. Grudge, we know who our saboteurs. I had a mission earlier where a bunch of people died because the saboteur party wound up coming through. Paradox Interactive, you bastards, sabotaged our location. Petty squabbles. Yeah, I'm gonna say we're above this. You know what? We're too far above this. That's not our mission. I wonder if trees get in the way of drones. Is that why we're not refueling? I guess they are refueling them. Slowly but surely, you'd think all the drones would come at once to grab the fuel. Maybe it's how much fuel's ready at the end of this little platform here instead. We have so many just drones just chilling out idle. Let's go ahead and do a project for more of the vegetation. Holy crap, look at the planet. This is super cool. I don't think I even noticed this before. The overall planet is turning in different colors too. I don't know why I wouldn't think that. I just don't believe I've really noticed this. And when I went to the overall map, that's super cool. Let's do another seed vegetation mission. We'll send Simurg 4. We'll probably do that for a couple times just to really get that boosted, vegetation part boosted. Almost finished with the capital city. In fact, as soon as we get a little bit more metal delivered, we're done, and 100% atmosphere is about to hit. Now, I'm curious, once you have 100% atmosphere, do you even need, oh god, Marsquake, do you even need the carbonate processors to maintain that? Or will it just kind of be self-sustaining at that point? And do we, could we turn off all the carbonate processors? Could we turn off the magnetic shields and items like that? Our capital city is getting constructed. It really doesn't need too much, does it? It's pretty much just the central little area. There's no dome that surrounds it. I think this can host 3 spires as well, which is pretty cool.
Scanned.
We're so close, 99.92. This is so cool. This will be the first 100% of anything we had, which is awesome. Our capital city is done.
No,
there we go, 100%. 100% atmosphere.
Milestone achieved.
Very, very cool. So I guess we do need to maintain the atmosphere. Interesting. And there we go. There is our final sponsor goal. We have 200 enthusiast applicants back at Earth. All sponsors goal met. Martian patents, active technology. What were we doing over here? I guess I could just queue up a bunch of random things. I'm not even going to look at it anymore. Yeah, Atlanta. What is this? Atlanta? Elatonga 1. Elatonga 1. Our capital city is done. Let's take a look at all the spires we could do. So, dome spires. Yes, we do in fact have room for 3 separate spires in this dome, which would be so cool. Look at all the space here. I mean, this is crazy. Look at all the room for activities. And you know what would be interesting in some kind of a future design is to have the capital city have all of your people in it, all of the residential areas, and have all the services on the outskirts, or vice versa. I imagine part of the issue might be that people have to walk so far that they might have a little bit of trouble. So maybe services on the outer rim and kind of like residences on the inner sector. Even so, this is really, really cool. I don't know how much I'm going to do with this one, but I might muck about with it a little bit. I think I'd like to do, I don't know. I would love to see 3 arcologies here because I like the idea of having that, dedication. But I think having a medical dome would be beneficial as well. I don't know, all the arcologies, let's cram it full of people just for fun, and we'll see what it looks like. This reminds me of kind of like a high-rise downtown area. So I'll throw some apartments in here in the center. We'll throw some random services in there and kind of the outer rim a little bit as well. This is so cool, though. I'm really excited. Guys, thanks for joining me, by the way, through this entire playthrough. And I know a lot of you have been giving me tons of tips and hints. And I do really appreciate it, and I have been checking out your tips as I go. Sometimes if you notice that I didn't include one of your tips in the next episode, so to speak, mostly because I just recorded ahead of time. So they eventually get, the tips and stuff eventually get their way in. It's just that I happen to be recording a little bit ahead of where you might be, posting your comment. But I've been, it's been a fun journey. I've learned a lot from this playthrough. I've learned all the things I should and shouldn't do. So at least the next playthrough might be a little bit smoother at some point down the road. Well, there we go. I've got a couple of additions to our capital city. I don't think I'm going to really... I'm not going to manage this all the way through. I mostly just wanted to build some stuff and have fun with it to see how it turned out. But by and large, I think this is going to be close to the end of our playthrough. I might run through to see how fast the vegetation booms, so to speak. And maybe if that's something that's attainable, I'll come back for just to show you what 100% vegetation looks like. But by and large, this is where I wanted to get to. Breathable atmosphere, capital city down, and starting to get some buildings up. I do believe in the next playthrough with the Leica DLC, I'm going to try to go for more of an end game. I'll try to be playing the end game a little bit more. So we'll plan out some items to the side, you know, all the neighboring domes around our capital city and things like that. I'll treat it more like a City Skylines playthrough where you're doing a little bit more of the long-term end game stuff. But this has been a real struggle. I think this has been a lot of learning, and I'm a little bit better off in terms of what we're going to be doing in the future. But we'll stick it through it in just long enough to see what the next vegetation boom is like, and then to see kind of what that might mean for us in the long term. Yeah, I guess we actually do have to keep the atmosphere going, by the way. Like, we have to have enough carbonate processors to always keep the atmosphere building, which is interesting. So that does mean you'd always have to have some waste rock coming out, although the mohole, by and large, would always have a supply of metal coming through. So I think that would be able to sustain your area, unless you just get enough shielding to keep the atmosphere at 100%. That's probably what the actual end goal would be, is to get enough of the magnetic field generators, plus the solar, I think you can actually do the solar thing again. Not the space mirror, but the, where did it go? Right here, the launch magnetic shield. The rocket would be lost, of course, but that would give you at least one more shield. So, another idea for the future would be to kind of get your atmosphere at 100% for the magnetic shielding. Maybe just keep one carbonate processor there doing its thing. Both of our special projects are about to be finished up here in a minute. We've got the Mars polar ice cap and the seed vegetation missions are about to get finished up. So we will see what it's like to get that 50%, or sorry, 30% vegetation to see what the boom is like. Although I think vegetation I was way behind pretty much the entire time on this playthrough. So next time, more of the seed things, the seed machines earlier on, and probably more dedicated farming right from the start. That actually worked out really, really well, like I mentioned before, to have those dedicated buildings. So that will be my my kind of after-action report, but we'll take a look at the seeds once they come down. I do like how the capital city looks. That's so cool. And it really can sustain a massive population. It's already at like 332 overall, so that's pretty nuts. Melt the polar ice caps once again has completed. Oh, that's right. That's not vegetation. That's more water, of anything. So we have a ton of water. Seed vegetation project has been completed. There we go. So we have our first boom of vegetation. I guess it doesn't show up anything. It just says that there is a vegetation boom. Wow, look at that. God, that map looks so good. That's so cool to see like a halfway terraforming or terraformed planet. Very, very cool. I wonder if it does it over time based on your percentages, or like only at, you know, if you're at X% water, it shows more blue in certain areas, or if it's just maybe as your overall progress goes up, it shows you different levels of the map, or like a different style of globe. That's really, really neat. All right, well, I think that's going to be it, folks. We have, you know, done a pretty large job of this playthrough, and I've gone through it a little bit slower than I think probably would have been best, but we've learned, we've loved, we've lost. We're on Mars, we're breathing the open air, and it's a gorgeous, gorgeous day. What I might do is release a video down the road of what this looks like at 100%. I still want to tinker with the game a little bit, this save, and maybe terraform some of these larger mountains down, and try to get a massive capital sprawling city out, and just to kind of get a feel for how that looks. And I might, like I mentioned, tinker around with it, mess around with it a bit. But by and large, I think we've hit the end of what... Oh, wow. Look how bright it is outside. I think we've hit the end of our playthrough. We've done what we wanted to do, which was to make a breathable atmosphere, throw it on the capital city, and I'm super excited that we got this far. We really came close, more than a few times, of having a full colony collapse. So I'm really happy at the end everything worked out okay. By the way, do we still need to make water here? Because it's set at 0. Now it still says, let's see, oxygen demand is at 0. So water production demand, or water demand is, it's almost like, it's really weird. It's been at 0 the entire time. It's almost like we're always meeting our needs with water. Maybe we don't extract more than we need. Maybe that's the secret there. Because it just has seemed like I've been at 0 surplus for quite some time, which might indicate that all of my water tanks are filled up, and we don't have any extra need for water right now. And we're only producing exactly what's required to fill up, you know, or to provide for our different domes. And that would make sense. There's nowhere for the excess water to go. So as long as we're not filling up any oxygen tanks or any water tanks, I guess we're going to stay at 0, which kind of makes sense. But, oh, by the way, how are the water vaporators doing at the end of this? By at the end of the playthrough here, they're 2.2%. So that was quite a bit. It does seem like spamming those water vaporators out is going to be a better plan than or at least long term, spreading them out as you go is a good idea, because I went a little bit too ham on the water deposits, and we almost had a little bit of trouble. I think we actually did uncover, yeah, another 100,000 unit water supply here, so we could have been okay if we actually ran this deposit into the ground, but by and large, I think we did pretty good. So thanks so much, folks, for being with me this long. If you watched the playthrough all the way through, I do appreciate it. As always, if you are interested in joining our community, if you want to talk about surviving Mars or any other games, please feel free to join our Discord. It is open to everyone. You don't have to be a subscriber or what have you to join. You can just come on in, chat with us. I will post information about when I do my live streaming, because I do that occasionally for funsies. And yeah, you're welcome to come out and take a gander. If you'd like to support this channel and this kind of content creation, I do have a Patreon available as well in the description below. But otherwise, thanks so much, friends, for all your input. Huge thanks to Snafu in particular. He's been giving me help every episode. I really do appreciate that kind of input, because it lets me get new ideas for the future. If I don't happen to include it now, I will go through and take a look at all the comments in the past to see, you know, what I could do better. So thanks so much, guys and gals, for joining me. It's been fun. Farewell from Mars. Let's take another quick peek at our beautiful colony in all its glory. You know, I think we did okay. I really think we did okay by our Martian friends.